Yes, Frank Ocean did his first interview in about 3-4 years with the New York Times. Daniel, did you see this interview? Are you with Frank Ocean?
Sorry, say again?
Frank Ocean did his first interview in like 3-4 years. You with that? You see it? You read it? Okay, you didn't read it. We're gonna cut that bit. Okay.
Tell me the works, bro.
So the news about Frank Ocean that we've heard is this is a quote. Basically, here's some straight takeaway points. He's doing shows, live shows. He's already working on new music. He might be doing more pop-ups. He has no contract deal with anyone.
Is there any ways do we know how that happened? Because it only just got confirmed a week ago. Because there was speculation, but now there's confirmation.
Well, he didn't. I don't think he explained it directly. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But he said this: because I'm not in a record deal, I don't have to operate in an album format. I can operate in a half-song format. Or he might devote less time to music, which is what they said. I believe that I'm one of the best in the world at what I do, and that's all I've ever wanted to be, he said. It's more interesting for me to figure out how to be superior in areas where I'm naive or I'm a novice. Fascinating comment. He said he might devote less time to music. He already believes he's one of the best in the world. We've never heard Frank say something like that.
Frank has never been boastful.
Right.
Never.
And there's nothing wrong with that statement because many would agree with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And
I think he is one of the best doing what he's doing right now. And the time that he took off to do Blonde and perfect it, because it is a beautiful album, I think was very well worth the wait.
But we don't see that self-confidence often. It's more insecurity, vulnerability. So to hear him say that is fascinating. And he said that's all he's ever wanted to be. He didn't really project it in his music much. Maybe I'm not analysing it enough. But it's more interesting for me to figure out how to be superior in other areas where I'm naive is the kind of a lesson in life, really. You know, once you've accomplished, you've climbed the mountain, how much further can you go before you start going down the mountain? Before people start hating you? A la Kanye West.
That's why you be smart like Jay-Z and just stop and just come back when you know how bad they want it.
Great point. Great point.
Jay-Z is the perfection of that. I feel like if he kept dropping albums and mixtapes and features, he would have dropped because he knew that he talked about everything that he possibly could. So whenever he gives it a huge amount of time, it comes back when he does have something to say.
Nas is similar in some ways as well, would you say?
Yeah, he did Life is Good, I believe, 3-4 years ago now.
A while ago, and that was good.
And to me, that was probably in his top 3 albums. I thought the album was absolutely beautifully done, especially the first 8 to 10 tracks. Like the transitioning, everything was just so solid. I banged that album so heavily, and I think the break he's taken. I think the new album is complete. And the whole thing I did with DJ Khaled, the next album done, sort of that sort of thing in the video for it, like saying like, you know, just on the mastering, like I'm excited for what he's got to say. He's taken another like 3-4 years to do that as well, so very smart. But he didn't have to put. That's just an artist that never has to put out anything again. He's left his mark on hip hop.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing whatever other avenues he tries to create for himself and explore, because he's still very young and he has a lot. We think we can only do one thing, right? We think, okay, I don't know, maybe you don't, but we try to climb this huge mountain of a goal we have, and we think we're only going to do this one thing for the rest of our lives. We're going to do so many things usually.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about a Tribe Called Quest.
Wait.
Hold up.
We ain't done.
We ain't done?
How long do you think he took to write Channel Orange?
Yeah,
Channel Orange is a beautiful body of work, you know.
I'm going to say, normally the best body of works are written in such a short period of time, so I'm going to say 2 weeks.
How you know that?
Are you serious?
It took him 2 weeks to write Channel Orange.
It's just music, man. Not all the time, but most of the time, the best body of work an artist does, they do in a short amount of time.
That's what he said. Wow, the great, you know, you've been in the game a while, haven't you?
Yeah, man. I've been in the game a while. Not always, but mostly.
And to hear, you know what he did on songs like Ivy and Nikes, where he manipulated his voice. He said he manipulated his voice to sound younger, to better capture the time he was evoking. Many of the new songs have 2 or 3 competing narratives, which is very interesting. They have different points of view participating in the same story. So he's kind of describing how the album should be interpreted. That was my version of a collage. He said, how we experience a memory sometimes is not linear. We're not telling the stories to ourselves. We know the story. We're just seeing it in flashes overlaid. So it's like, well, the things we hear on Blonde, it's not just what you hear, if you will. They're all competing narratives that you must interpret and analyze to get a deeper meaning.
Well, yeah, I feel that from what other people have told me about certain tracks on Blonde, they'll take a complete different thing out of it. Like, people's perspectives are very different on that album. I still haven't really listened to it and had like a huge delve into it though. Like, it's an album I keep going back to. Like, I fuck with it heavy, but it's just not an album that I've actually like looked up the lyrics to every track and just really delved into it, which is strange because I should have by now.
Well, there it is. You can see more in New York Times. Just a little summation.
I'll read it when I get home for sure.
He said he's doing some shows. Road Channel only 2 weeks. He's working on new music. He's not in any contract.
Which we still don't know why. We just know that he has.